Hello, everyone. Welcome back to FAB with Matt and Dennis. Been away for a couple of months since pre-Nat, so a lot has happened. But Matt, you've just come back from
Amsterdam, yeah.
Oh.
So that was a load of fun. Another Pro Tour.
Yeah.
Another one down.
Another one down.
Yeah.
And hope you had a good time. So
Yeah,
a
definitely.
good time, so I've heard.
Yeah.
No need to read into that one.
Always good fun with the boys.
Yeah, with the boys. Playing
place
card
where,
games.
playing card games.
Yeah. I mean, start us off. What was your top 2 highlights from the trip?
Top 2 highlights. I mean, Tarek Patel, very good friend and teammate, making top 8. Obviously, that is the craziest highlight. That's just amazing. It's been a long time coming. He's playing the absolute top of his game right now, and it was really cool to see him make a top 8 there.
Yeah.
Other highlight, I think the deck I played was a lot of fun.
Okay.
Like probably one of the funnest. Or definitely the funnest deck I've played since Oldham.
Fun for both players, I hope.
Yeah,
Like Oldham?
more fun than Oldham for both players. But yeah, I just really interesting and kind of has a lot of changing game plans. I just had a blast playing
Cool.
it. So that was a huge highlight to play that at a Pro Tour.
Yeah, and spoilers, we are going to do the deck tech for that for that deck later in the video, so stay tuned. But yeah, no, Tarek coming top 8 finally, because I think it's been everyone's always like Tarek is one of the best players in the world, and we all know that, but it's just like when it comes to major, Mr. Just miss out.
He
every
always
single time.
chokes at Pro Tours.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Yeah.
no.
It's fun. I just want to say the Pro Tour I didn't go to, Amsterdam, he top 8s.
So you've been holding him down, have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't know, the first Worlds in San Jose, I did whoop Tarek's ass by whooping his ass, I mean he played Dracona Optimi, and I drew my 1 popper in my deck.
Nice.
And I popped
And
it.
you
I was
got
like, we got him. Yes. And he didn't make top 8, so it's a correlation.
Okay.
His kryptonite was in there.
So you're going to be in Osaka?
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
So, I'm sorry,
Tarek.
Tarek. Your run's over. Anyhow, so you played Nuu
I played Nuu, yeah.
as did pretty much your whole team. And Zen.
Yeah. So pretty much the whole team played Nuu and Zen. Nobody played any other decks. So yeah, is what it is. And it was a bit of a split. So maybe a third of the team were playing Zen, a third of the team were playing standard Nuu, and then maybe a few players of the team were playing Contract Nuu.
Okay.
So yeah.
And that's what you were on.
Yeah,
right?
I was
So
on Contract Nuu. And yeah.
Yeah, it did look very exciting. I heard musings that you guys were scrambling for certain cards.
It was crazy. So about two or 3 days before the Pro Tour, we'd been testing this Contract Nuu deck for a day or so, and like it was testing really well, and everybody wanted to jump on it. Pretty much the whole team. So or at least most of the team. So at one point we were like, okay, we need to find like 9 play sets of like Nix the Nimble, a common, and like Annihilate the Armed, a common, and then all of these. There's a Majestic Already Dead or whatever. We had to find a bunch of those, and it was like, oh my gosh, we've scrambled. So initially we reached out to, we figured, whatever, the best thing to do to get commons and stuff, they're all from Dynasty, we'll just get some Dynasty product. So we reached out to all of the vendors and we're like, hey, who's got Dynasty cases? We need to grab a couple. And like pretty much all the vendors got back to us and said, no, we didn't bring Dynasty. So then we were like, oh my gosh. So now we got to scramble for commons. So Tarek starts tweeting, like Jakuza starts tweeting and stuff, and they're all just like, hey, we need Dynasty commons. Does anybody have Dynasty commons?
And meanwhile, you guys are trying to like keep hitting while you're playing, right?
Yeah,
You're
we're like, I think a whole lot of people were like, are they playing Arachne? Like Dynasty commons? Like, is it Arachne? Is that the thing? And it was
that
like,
was my call for the meta.
True. So eventually it ended up all right because the night before, basically one of the team members that were testing a more normal Nuu deck had a huge breakthrough with a whole lot of results, or kind of got to Amsterdam, showed a whole lot of results, and a bunch of the team were like, you know what, we're just going to jump on this new strategy that just seems amazing versus everything, and we'll just play that instead of this Contract Nuu deck that seems a little bit riskier.
Yeah.
So I think most of the team were like, look, if we had an extra week to test the Contract Nuu deck, we'd definitely play it, or like either play it or discard it. But there just wasn't enough time, and there was a bunch of results from members in our team that had been testing other new builds for like a month straight and had like amazing results and heaps of data. So most of the team just flocked to following that, and Tarek that did really well.
Yeah, so it worked out for you guys. Can you talk me through a little bit of your process, since we didn't come up with a video after nationals? I suddenly remember that. So
it was all a little bit crazy. Yeah, it was like nationals, a whole lot of stuff, and then I went straight off overseas. So I was overseas for quite a while. I went to Sydney first and did like some PCG office visits and stuff like that, and so we didn't really get any time to record after nationals, unfortunately.
More mystery for the viewers of what happened. But like, in terms of your testing process, obviously nationals happened, which I played Zen. You played Zen. Yeah. Disgusting. And unsurprisingly, I played Victor.
Well, I mean, all of these bonds were legal and stuff. It was a bit crazy.
Apparently it was a good deck.
Yeah.
But then obviously the week after they came out with the BNR, where like bonds, lol JK, too strong.
Yeah, I think it was just after Nats. Yeah, so maybe a week or two after Nats.
Yeah, you're not allowed to play Katsu anymore. But from that, what was your, I guess, process? Because I'm guessing if nothing had changed, you just played Zen going into.
Yeah, I think the whole team were pretty hard on Zen in national season, and probably would have been over to Pro Tour. Obviously, the bans changed a little bit, and just kind of allowed Zen to be less consistent, so it could be more disruptable, which gave Nuu a pretty good in.
Yeah. And I guess overall, you said most of your team, or everyone, played Zen or Nuu. So on the surface,
one member of the team, Dilks, didn't. So Dilks played Kano and decided he was just going to blow everybody up.
Yeah. How did that go?
Like really good initially, but I think draft fell apart for him. So it was a little bit of a shame. I think he started off day one at X1, I believe, and then day two was a little bit rough. So it was unfortunate. Kano was definitely ended up being a pretty good pick for the meta as well, but Kano also does Kano things. So it's always a polarizing pick. I think that one.
Yeah, I guess on paper, you would immediately be like, oh my god, this meta is so boring. It's just like two heroes. But I mean, at the end of the day, the top 8 of the Pro Tour had 4 unique heroes.
Well, I think that's an incredible story from the Pro Tour. Is like, the deck that won, Azuri, was off everybody's radar, right? And we all looked at that afterwards and we're like, this deck's really, really good into Nuu, and it's really, really good into Zen. It's like it does similar things to what the Contract deck does in like the Assassin mirror, and I can see it just pretty much smashing Nuu. And then it also is so threatening versus Zen with all of the on hits. And the fact that you get even better on hits, it seemed like an amazing choice, to be honest.
Half the time you can't block it either. On hit, I just take it.
Where sometimes it's an on hit would dominate, right? Because they throw a little dominator out here and then you block and then they swap it out. It's just like crazy.
And so to be fair, we all knew that once the Japanese players were in. We talked about this in the previous video, right? We're like, we're all doomed. And case in point, ban Japanese players. That's too strong. They didn't have their own Pro Tour, their own region. It's Worlds Japan, but 4 Japan players, and then Worlds everyone else. And then like the first place from Worlds everyone else gets to play like the 24th place of Worlds Japan. I think that's like the fair level.
You think that there should be a handicap involved? You think it's just unfair?
It's too good. It's literally like genetic advantage or whatever. No, but congratulations, obviously.
Massive.
And to everyone who plays well. Even you ended up just outside of top 64.
I think so. Just short of top 64.
But you're still a good run, like honestly. It's so hard.
Draft didn't go overly well for me. I went 1-2 in my first draft, which was a bit of a shame. So I started off 3-0, and then I got a feature match versus a Bravo Fatigue deck, which I didn't know he was Bravo Fatigue. It was actually a player that I know, and a player that has played Bravo for since day one. He actually gave me this like specialized Bravo thing when I went to Vegas a couple of years ago. So I knew the Bravo Fatigue deck existed, but I sat down against him and I'm like, oh, he's just, this guy's a day one Bravo main forever. So I kept my sinks and my fates and stuff in, and I got punished for it. So
disgusting.
it was a shame.
Yeah, you just. I mean, Pro Tour is like that though. Like, and especially the early rounds when you haven't scouted all the decks, you just sit down and you're like, you have no idea what's going on. It's gem roulette, like level 9,000, right?
Yeah. So unfortunately I lost that. So I was 3-0. I lost that, and then I went 1-2 in the draft, and day 2 I 3-0'd my first draft, so I started to claw it back, but like, you know, I wasn't really in contention for top 8 from then anyway.
Yeah.
So it was a shame.
Yeah, if only there was a YouTube channel that gave helpful advice on part the misfailed draft.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch that.
Yeah, I mean, no, but I mean, it is what it is. Especially, I guess, the high level players like in variance just comes in again, even day twoing and having good records.
Well, I mean, there's just so many good players. It's not even about variance. It's just the fact that like it is the best of the best.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna top 8 every time. You know,
Exactly.
that's what we've seen with Tarek Patel, who I would argue is one of the best players in the world. It took him, 5 or 6 Pro Tour events to make a top 8, right? That's how it is out there.
Yeah. But honestly, watching the coverage is just like, oh my god! But the top level gameplay is so good. Yeah. Like even watching the drafts breakdowns, it just the thought. Obviously, you can't hear what they're thinking, but then you kind of can put it together, and you're just like, oh my god! As I consider myself a competitive casual player. Yeah. Watching some of that, I'm like, oh, okay, that's. I just would not think of like going into certain lines.
I just consider you a competitive time poor player.
Competitive can't be bothered player.
Well, maybe competitive lazy.
yeah, that's the one. But yeah. Anywho, so we're about to go into the deck tech of your Contract Nuu.
So we played a Nuu deck. A few of the team played it. It's a Nuu deck that focuses a little bit more on generating silver tokens and then abusing them with black tech. I think it's really well positioned. It has solid plans into most matchups. And so I'll go through it card by card. We'll pop the list down in the description as well, but I'll go through the cards, maybe some of the sideboarding choices, and like kind of the main matchups right now for you.
Cool. Get into it.
All right, so here we are. This is Contract Nuu. So very similar to your regular Nuu decks, but then kind of focuses a little bit more of the blues and some of the game plans on contract cards, mainly to take advantage of Black Tech Whisperers. So Black Tech Whisperers in this deck can often be, somewhat of a Valiant Dynamos and giving extra go again over and over and over. If you get to use it 4 or 5 times in a game, obviously it's like 5 lots of go again, and block 5 are pretty ridiculous equipment. So all of your kind of usual suspects from Nuu, being Siren's Call, Hiss, Venomous Bite, obviously Codex with Command and Leave No Witness, and these cards. And then it's more around the blues are a little bit different. So in this deck, we don't play Justinic, and we focus, we play Cut to the Chase in its place, and so we're a little bit freed up on the blues. We don't have to play as many of the sort of one attack blues that aren't great by themselves, that kind of need something else to be good. And so this deck takes advantage of that and is able to play blues that create silver tokens on hit. So Annihilate the Armed is the absolute best of them, because off Mistblade it's a 4 attack, so it's a breakpoint blue that gets to attack for 4 on 2 cards late game, or when your hand's not really doing much, and threaten to make another silver, which is half a Black Tech Whisperers. And then what the deck's trying to do a lot of the time here and there on its off turns and mid and late game is, play some sort of contract card. If it's not blocked, you use Black Tech Whisperers, you give it go again, and then you play another contract cards. And the contracts stack, so they see each other. So in the one card it banishes, if you complete 2 contracts from the earlier contract card on the stack and the one that's hitting now, you'll create 2 silver tokens. So you can get pretty ridiculous with the amount of silvers that you can make in this deck, which can also be utilized to make levels very good. So levels of enlightenment, if you have 3 or 4 silvers out, or even 1 silver or whatever, just pitching a blue to draw a card, getting more blue in your pitch, and kind of making sure that your levels hits more modes. Also allows you to set up some pretty cool stuff in the late game. After you've kind of shuffled your deck a bunch, you get to the very end game, you know what your pitch stack is, you know where your cheese are, where you can kind of sacrifice the silvers to manipulate your hand to be able to finish them off with all their Banish Zone blues. So I guess some of the key differences, obviously we're not playing Just a Nick, playing Cut to the Chase in its place, and then where you can't play Looking for a Scrap in this deck because you're playing less ones, you're playing more of these Contract Blues instead, and then you're playing some things like Plunder the Poor, which we actually found was actually just really good even in non-Contract Nuu. Just being a 0 cost 4 attack with an on hit that was relevant with levels later on, like the silver being relevant with levels, and the fact that you could so easily hiss this into a 2-drop disruption was really good. But yeah, specifically the fact that you're playing Black Tech Whisperers and silver matters in your deck. This card is very, very good. And then we've got Annihilate the Arm, which is the 1 cost 5 attack version of that. So same sort of thing. The good thing about this deck is like your Venomous Bites and your Cut to the Chases are kind of mini hisses, because if you're able to pump through an attack over the top so that it'll hit, you can use Black Tech to just give it go again as well. So this deck tries to go again quite a lot. So if your opponent gives you any room, you can just kind of go crazy on them, and then snowball them out. So the plans are very similar to most Nuu decks. You're very, very good in the mirror. So in the Nuu mirror, because all of your cards are just accidentally milling them a little bit more, and then your blues are like quite strong late game, what happens is effectively you get to a late game where you're 10 plus cards up on them just by playing a normal game of back and forward. The Nuu mirror is so much about cards more than it's about life. So so many of your cards and even all of your blues effectively have really good on hits that they kind of have to block up. So they're blocking a lot more, they're using a lot more cards that way, and when they're not blocking, they're losing cards that way. So either way, in the mirror, whatever game plan they choose, generally they're losing a lot more cards than you are. So you get to that end game and you fatigue them out. Against Zen, you have the game plans are similar, but you have the ability to kind of block a little bit more if you want to. So against Zen, we play Balance of Justice, and we set up a game where like we're going to value them out any which way. So you've still got pretty much all of your on hits. You've shaved a weakest link, but then also if they're just going crazy, you're able to block a little bit more and then still outvalue them throughout the game. Like, for example, you can like block with 3 cards and play a Plunder the Poor as a 0 for 4 that's like half a Black Tech trigger. So it's like half a life versus them. So you're getting sort of 4 to 4.5 points on average out of each of your cards, and you can play a slower game getting that against Zen if you need to. But then you've still got sort of most of the on hits that threaten a really kind of disruptive game plan if they give you any room. And then against Prism, you're a lot more aggressive just because you've got these cards that can attack on anything and they don't like to block, which makes your Black Tech Whisperers really good. It means that you can hit with so many of your cards with Cut to the Chase and basically just do a long chain, so you can just keep attacking. So we've found that against Prism, we're able to be far more aggressive than most Nuu decks, which has been a huge advantage as well. And then other things like Kano, So we've opted to play Nuu 2 versus Kano, and we've found that, so we play the Chest and Arcane Lantern. We've found that Balance of Justice has been really, really crucial for keeping the pressure on. So mid-game, at any point, if they're drawing 2 cards, you can just crack Balance and have a 5/6 card hand if you have an arsenal. And then because of Black Tech, you can kind of pressure and go wide there if you need to and bring their life total down really fast, which is something we found struggled a lot with the normal Nuu decks against Kano, is that we were a little bit slow to get their life point to something where these attack reacts would become really threatening. We've opted for 2 Oasis there as well, so Nuu 2 and 2 Oasis, and have found pretty much if you draw one of these, you're a huge favourite to win the game, unless they're stacking you. And if they're stacking you, it can get a little bit harder. You've got to set up and really focus, really save and focus these reacts well and make sure that you're getting really strong on hits versus them. But the good thing about if they are stacking versus you is if Bonds ever hits, you shuffle their whole deck and they have to start from scratch. And because you're a little bit more aggressive, they often don't have enough cards to re-block you out and stack you and everything again. So yeah, we still play a Rousing Wave, and this plus Black Tech means that Bonds is very often live, and if you're kind of saving some of these Hiss and Venomous Bites for the Bonds, you can really focus on trying to get that Bonds off. That's the most important thing we've found versus Kano. So yeah, other than that, Shred has been fantastic in this version because so many of your other on hits matter. Shred has been just a really good attack react. So yeah, finding that, and then in the mirror we're boarding out surgical and levels, so we go down to 23 blues in the mirror, but obviously because we're playing more 1s and 0s, we've found that ratio to be acceptable. Yeah, I think that's kind of the gist and how most of the matchups go. KO, I guess, is similar. We play Balance of Justice. We can, very similar to Zen, in that we can block a whole lot if we want, if our hands aren't lining up and theirs are. But also we can be very aggressive if we want as well. So you kind of get to play both game plans against most of the aggro decks and just chop and change whatever kind of suits you based on the hands that you're drawing and how aggressive they're being. So we'll head back to the couch now, and yeah.
All right. Cool deck.
That's a deck.
It's a deck. Yeah, I'm surprised not more people were on this version, because I think you look at Contract, you just think Azuri/Arachne.
Yeah, this is like a kind of weird middle ground, but it's basically like, it's kind of like an Arachne deck that gets to play Hiss and Siren's Call and Venomous Bite, which are all just absurd cards.
Yeah.
And then also gets a hero ability. Like, the best thing about your hero ability is it says your opponent can't play Levels of Enlightenment. So you're like, that's a pretty big hero ability.
That's pretty good, so I've heard. Oh, I mean, they can play it against you. You just win the game if they do.
Yeah. And then also your hero ability just says late game, after I've mucked around a bunch, I just win the game, you know? When I play your Banished Pile, it's just over.
You should work for LSS. There's a really good hero wordings. Yeah. Was there any card that you missed from a normal Nuu deck?
I think the only real card that is a little bit of a miss is Justinic. Justinic doesn't really work in this version, but it also isn't an amazing card in general as well. Like it's a pretty high variance card. It's really good when it's good, and it's a huge brick when it's not. And it means that you have to play these blues that are very bad without it. Yeah. So all of your blues rely on you playing it, whereas my blues, a lot of the time are just good. Yeah. I just fine anyway. So if I have a hand of 4 blues and stuff, the game plan where I can just attack with weapon, attack with one of my blue contract cards. If it has go again from the weapon, then attack with another contract card, or give it go again with Black Tech, attack with another contract card. And then I'm getting decent value out of my blues. Yeah. So rather than attacking for 1 and needing this card to make them good. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, Matt. I saw a couple of games on stream over the weekend where it was
what is it? Pick to Pieces Blue, just a nick for lethal.
Yeah.
I thought I was like, that is the most.
That's pretty good.
That's the saddest way to die ever.
Yeah.
You're just like, this attack that does nothing, and now I'm dead.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Just a nick is a really high variance card, and that like sometimes it's amazing, and sometimes it's a brick. But I didn't miss it that much.
Cool. So. And we've been going into the, I guess, next season. Before Rosetta comes out, if we were to play more FAB, which I know you're dying to do.
Of course.
Would you keep playing this deck, and what kind of changes would you make?
Yeah, I mean, it'll depend, because like this deck and assassin decks in general always struggle a little bit against wizards. So it depends what the new wizards going to be like, whether that pushes this deck out or not. But otherwise, if the meta doesn't change in a big way, then yes, definitely I'll keep playing this deck. I think that the deck is very good. One other thing I just wanted to circle back to, which I've now forgotten.
Nice. You sounded really serious.
Yeah.
Like,
there was something that I actually just did want to touch on. That you mentioned something. Justin Nick was something I didn't miss, and then the other card that we replaced Justin Nick with, Cut to the Chase.
Yes,
that card was incredible for me throughout the weekend. Just the fact that like so many people are used to just being able to block up your Leave No Witness and your surgical, and then that you can just cut to the chase with no mana floating or whatever and pump through that.
Yeah,
it just does stupid things.
Yeah.
So I actually found that Cut to the Chase was probably better than Just a Nick the majority of the time.
Yeah,
like it was ridiculous how often that was incredible for me.
Yeah. I mean, that you go Leave No Witness, you've got no tunic up, one card in hand, they're like, oh, I'm all good to give you like 2 pieces of armor.
Yeah,
right?
you can't play a History of
and you're like, burp, and like, see you later.
Pseudo Justin, but on something.
But actually better.
Yeah,
you can play it.
And doing it on Surgical Extraction is like crazy as well, you know.
Oh, don't get me excited.
Yeah.
I can't afford these new cards. Surgicals are like $20.
I could see you playing a bit of this. This has Oldham vibes to it.
Yeah. Mill your opponent and then play their cards.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Cool. So that was the deck tech.
Yeah. That was a deck tech.
That was a deck tech of a deck. And what's coming up in FAB? Like, what are you looking forward to?
Oh, I mean, a lot, to be honest. We've got we got a skirmish season coming up, which is Living Legend and Blitz. Living Legend is interesting.
I did hear you play the Battle Hard.
I did. Well, I played one round of the Battle Hard.
Yeah.
And then like I played the first round, and then I dropped out and just like tested a bunch with the team for Tarek's games. But it was like the format. Zen is ridiculous. I played Zen and like just turn 2 or 3 most games, it's just over. And then I played against Berserk KO, which was also ridiculous.
Well, they both can do like 60 damage turns. Right?
Yeah. So Living Legend lives up to what it's supposed to be. It is this massive, like ridiculous format of just throwing a whole lot of stuff at each other. Killing your opponent as fast as possible.
Yeah, should be
OTKing your opponent.
Should be a fun skirmish season. But,
I think a lot of the skirmishes seem to be Blitz.
Yeah.
I think a lot of stores have opted for Blitz. And I hear the Blitz format's pretty good right now.
Yeah. It's also Zen.
Zen also does very well in that format as well, though. But
so CC Zen's good. Blitz Zen's good.
Blitz also has like Blaze that does really well. So it's got like a mix of arcane.
It's like pay to win though.
We don't have the moment, baby. Yeah. So I don't know. Blitz does seem to be a pretty open format. There's a lot going on in Blitz.
Yeah.
Like Dash seems really good as well.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of arcane damage. Victor's good.
Yeah.
So,
if your name's Cal McCreath, then Bravo's good. No, I think Blaze actually got nerfed though because they banned Wildfire.
Yeah.
So I think Blaze did.
You reckon it's dead now?
I don't know, but I'm glad I didn't pay like $70 for one.
For a Blaze?
Yeah, for a Blaze. I heard cheaper than the Amsterdam Blazes. So I heard.
I don't know what you've heard. You've heard nothing.
Yeah, PG-13 channel. Okay, so are you going to head out to some of these skirmishes?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to. I think it might be the last chance for Blitz to play Dash. Maybe I think Dash is getting close to Living Legend.
And
So
Briar as well, I think.
yeah, and Briar as well. So I might throw a Dash together and try to do one last bit of fun with her.
Okay.
For that is the plan. And then
Yeah.
and then before we know it, Rosetta will be upon us.
Oh my goodness, it's so quick, isn't it?
Yeah,
You just set up
it's
the
all
set.
coming around quick.
We just figured out this meta,
Yeah,
and then it's like new hero,
and then they're gonna throw Rune Blades and Wizards at us.
Oh my god, literally worse.
The hardest metas to figure out.
Yeah. But the new heroes look cool though. Like the heal, do some
Yeah.
damage. I'm like, oh, that's a bit of me, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. We won't talk too much about them just yet, but
Well, spoiler season's about to start, right? So there's going to be a whole lot to talk about. The next video will be, on Rosetta cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when's the world premiere? It's like September.
Yeah, it's only a few weeks away in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, which you're going to.
Yeah, I'm going there. Obviously,
Matt has
PCG
work.
offices there.
And then you happen to have work in Leon after.
Oh yeah. I'm also going to be in Leon because I'm there for a different work trip.
Oh, so many companies, and then of course PCG Sydney the week after. You have to be there.
Yeah, I'm going to be playing a fair bit of FAB this year. A lot of work trips that just happen to line up. It just is what it is. I don't write the schedule. I don't know.
Okay. PCG. If you have any if you're hiring, let me know.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
But I have to do the business trips. That's my one requirement. Yeah. No, but that'll be awesome.
Yeah, Tampa I'm really looking forward to. I love these premiere events.
Yeah.
Where you get to be the first people to play with cards.
Yeah.
Nobody has really quite figured it out yet. It's just that real fun zone.
Yeah.
It's the fun zone before all of the teams everywhere all over the internet have figured it all out. Yeah.
Everyone thinks they're smart. and LSS have said that this set will be the first time they don't reveal all the cards.
Yeah,
before the world
exactly, which is
premiere.
even more exciting. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, no nepotism for the world. What was the Queenstown drama? Yeah.
Calm down, Dennis.
That wasn't me that was complaining.
Okay.
No, but that would be so fun because that
I
would be a
think so,
huge test of skill. And also like just being able to adapt like on the spot, right?
Yeah.
You open cards, you're like, what the hell?
And with Rune Blades and Wizards as well. So things that are like a little bit more deep. I think it's not like Heavy Hitters was cool and doing that premiere and stuff, but it was pretty easy to figure out, to be honest, like for everybody, because it was just big hard hitting things, right? Smash big things against each other, but bringing Arcane into it is a whole new level, and a whole new puzzle. So I that's going to be a lot of fun. I think.
Oh, I kind of see a pattern there. We're Heavy Hitters, and then they bring the Arcane set back. If we just pretend Mistveil didn't exist. Like, it's going back to like WTR, then Arcane, and then... Do you see the pattern?
Illuminati confirmed?
Yeah, confirmed. We're going back to Monarch next, right?
Oh
my god. Okay, I see. Yeah, I mean, they've already released
that means it's only like a year before you get your Oldham back.
Yes! Oldham... No, we're getting Terra.
Yeah.
And the Blitz Terra, the first strike decks are they out? I see people selling them. But
I don't think they're out yet.
Yeah.
I think I'm not sure.
I see them on the marketplace. I'm like, how did you get them?
People are probably pre-selling them.
Yeah.
Stores usually do pre-orders. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's exciting.
Yeah.
Earth Guardian.
Definitely. There you go.
And as I said.
So is Crown of Seeds was never banned?
No, it's banned.
It is banned. Yeah.
It's banned. I think with the new hero, the new Earth heroes, it's probably going to be very broken. I mean, the card was broken.
It was always very broken. So you don't get Crown of Seeds back?
I don't get Crown of Seeds back.
Oh, I don't know, mate.
Life's not worth living anymore.
You should just play Nuu. Just join the Nuu chain.
Do you get a free card every 3 turns?
Yeah, from
and
there.
Heal 1? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, mate, we might have got you.
You got it. All right, so Rosetta coming up, and then right after that, oh my God, we're just going to Japan.
Worlds, yeah. Osaka. How cool is that going to be?
I'm so hyped. Like the rest of the year in FAB, like other than this little lull. I mean, I say lull of the skirmish season, which I'm not too excited about getting owned on turn 0 and Living Legend. I'll turn up and play,
or KO.
Yeah, I mean Ice React, but.
Your Frostbites ain't going to do much when Zem plays 30 blues.
And Belittle's legal.
Yeah.
No, but other than that, the rest of the year, I'm just like so excited for.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, saving money and be like, oh, got to get to all these events and buy some cases.
Well, I think Osaka's going to be like the event, like the
Yeah.
absolute pinnacle. I mean, everybody I know just about is coming.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm renting out like a half of a whole apartment block because I got.
My invite must have got lost in the mail because.
mate, if you want to join, join.
Yeah.
But just from like a bunch of our team and people that we test with that are all going, like a bunch of PCG staff from all of the offices are going there for like a PCG Worlds conference and doing on-site grading there as well. So all our staff from everywhere are coming. My family's coming. Like literally my dad and stuff were like, hey, I really wanted to go to Japan. Like, can I jump in? I think Nick's mum's coming. Like everybody's going to Japan. Like I think we've got 20 or so rooms booked.
That's
it's
so
actually
cool.
going to be crazy.
It's just going to be such a fun trip.
It's just going to be a massive celebration.
If you ever wonder, like on the annual report of PCG and how they're doing, just summed it up. Like profit margins.
Get off it.
Oh no, that'll be so fun. All the overpowered Japanese players will be there, obviously, so we have no shot.
Yeah, so we're not going to win the event, but we're going to have a good time.
Yeah, I've already like mentally established I'm going there for fun.
Yeah.
That's it. Flights booked and everything.
Hey, that should be FAB in general, mate. Play it for fun, and if you win, that's a bonus.
Oh, I don't know
Come
about
on.
that.
Play the game, see the world, you know?
I've got to have those salty musings. Like, if you don't care enough, you don't get those moments where you get like 80 damage turned and you just complain about it for the rest of your life. I feel like
I guess it adds for a lot of stories. Yeah. That's fair.
No, that's dope. Really looking forward to all of that. But yeah, I'll go back a little bit. Just talk about immediately coming up skirmish.
Yeah.
You said you're gonna play Dash.
Yeah.
For.
I'm gonna try to. Yeah.
Please don't sandbag Blitz.
No, I'm not gonna.
You're gonna turn up with some like OP hero that you figured like Team. I was gonna say Team Dragon Shield. It doesn't exist anymore. Team PCG Pass.
Yeah.
Have come up with and beat all the casual players and take up promos.
I play some Dash. See her out.
Yeah. And Living Legend. What hero do you reckon you go for?
Probably just Zen. Zen's so broken.
Dash is also on the way out of CC, so you have to.
Yeah, I've CC. Yeah. But weren't you just asking about Living Legend?
Yeah,
I don't know about Living Legend. It's a 2-turn game. I'm not. I'm not going to analyze that too much.
Yeah. No. So we got that coming up. Lots of exciting things in FAB. Is there anything else that we haven't covered?
No. I think we covered it all. Obviously Rosetta into Worlds. So I think the next video is going to focus on Rosetta, the spoilers, what we think of spoilers, what we think of the set, and it should be a bit of fun.
That'll be super exciting. Meanwhile, as always, anything you want to hear us yap about?
Yeah.
We should rename it from Fab with Matt to just Yap with Matt.
Yap with Matt.
Let us know. We'll make it happen.
Chuck it in the comments, and we'll come up with some more stuff to yap about.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for hearing the yapping. See you, team.